there, I'm Dr. Funke Afolabi Brown. I'm the founder of Restful Sleep MD. I don't know if you've ever heard that term, I'll sleep when I'm dead. This is something that, you hear around people who tend to be very high achievers and really go-getters. And sometimes it seems like sleep is almost like saying that you need sleep is, something that's not necessarily associated with strength or resilience or things like that. And I've had people ask, like, so then what happens? Do you really die if you don't get enough sleep? And just for the record, I am your glass half full kind of person. Okay, so really an optimist. I love to talk about the benefits of sleep, but then there are downsides when we do not get enough sleep, and when we don't get it consistently. So you'll hear several terms thrown around. You'll hear things like sleep deprivation. You'll hear things like sleep deficiency or insufficient sleep. And so really, when we talk about sleep deprivation, that occurs when you don't have enough sleep. And really that comes from either not having enough sleep opportunity. So if you're that mom that's out there who is doing so many things and you've not really been able to prioritize sleep, or you have a very demanding job or something of that sort, then you're likely to have sleep deficiency. Now, when we talk about insufficient sleep, right? So really it sort of covers that umbrella of being sleep deprived, meaning you're not getting enough sleep, and also includes things like sleeping at the wrong time, or sleeping and having sleep that's really unrefreshing, either because you have insomnia or some other problem, or you have really poor quality sleep, either because of habits you may have or other sleep disorders like sleep apnea. So that kind of covers that whole, umbrella of insufficient sleep. Regardless of what it is that's going on that's driving your insufficient sleep, there are definitely things that would happen when we don't get enough sleep. And I always want to say this: sleep is a vital necessity. Sleep is essential to life, just like drinking, just like water, just like food, like air we breathe. Sleep is actually that critical. It's important for so many functions in our bodies. And unfortunately, despite this, the CDC actually reports that 1 in 3 individuals are getting less than the required number of hours of sleep. So for an adult, that would be 7 to 9 hours, that ballpark. That's a staggering number, 33% of people. And so we have a society that is essentially sleep deprived, and we're not doing much to move the needle forward in improving that. And because of that, we have so many things that are affected, right? So we'll start off with what then goes on when we don't get enough sleep. I would say sleep is important for all aspects of our health, right? So our physical health, our mental health, emotional health, and also public safety. So we'll kind of put them in all those 4 categories. So with our physical health, there's studies that have shown that insufficient sleep over time is associated with increased risk of heart disease, of hypertension, of stroke, of insulin resistance, which can then lead to type 2 diabetes, as well as obesity. So back to that question, can sleep lead to death? Well, you can see that all these chronic diseases are associated with a higher mortality. Okay, so I'll leave you to figure that out. So that's just even the physical impact that sleep has on our health. The other piece that I want to talk about is our mental health. There's a lot of studies also that have shown that poor sleep is associated with increased risk of mental health problems. So anxiety, depression, and unfortunately an increased risk of suicidality. So this is something that we do know is a bi-directional relationship. So it doesn't mean that, okay, if I don't sleep well, I'm going to go kill myself. Or if I don't sleep well, I'm going to suddenly be depressed. There are relations. People that are depressed or people that are anxious may have sleep issues. And people who already are susceptible are at risk of having worse emotion regulation, increased anxiety, and things like that. So you can tell it's a two-way street. So if you are anxious, if you are depressed, my recommendation, yes, is get enough sleep and absolutely get help. Then the third thing really is our cognition, our learning, our executive function. And we'll see this in children, we'll see this in adults, we'll see this in teenagers, right? So with our children, we're seeing a lot of hyperactivity when they don't sleep well. We're seeing a lot of learning and behavior problems. We're getting a lot of emails from the teacher about them just being impulsive sometimes, or they're just so exhausted that they are not able to learn appropriately. Our teens may be sleepy. They may engage in risk-taking behaviors. So we see a lot more children or teenagers that don't sleep well more likely to be engaged with trying out drugs, or just really making wrong choices. And even when it comes to driving, that's also something that our teens who are sleep deprived are more likely to take risks when they're driving. And also for us as adults, when you think about executive function, that is a key function, right? Our ability to make critical decisions, the ability to lead a team, to work in a team, right? The ability to navigate very challenging situations. When you don't sleep well, you're losing the benefit of being able to be optimal in those aspects as well. Finally, sleep impacts our safety, right? You and I would never want a sleepy driver on the road with us, right? You would never want a pilot that's sleepy to take you, to your destination, right? You would never get on the same plane if the pilot is like, oh yeah, I've not slept for 24 hours. Let's go. You would be like, wait, can somebody else do this? So sleep is really critical to public safety. In fact, if you look back in history, there have been catastrophic events that have happened when people are not sleeping, like engineers and trains that have crashed, and different like large oil carrying vessels that have just devastating things that have happened, and lives have been lost because the person in charge was sleep deprived or made decisions that then put other people in harm's way. And then even in the medical community, there's a lot of medical errors that have been seen to be associated with sleep deprivation with your provider. So if your provider is extremely exhausted, extremely sleep deprived, and you're getting to hear this, please tell them to get some sleep as well, so that you can be safe and your family can be safe. So essentially, again, I'm not a pessimist, but I have to let you know that this is important. And the goal of this is to empower you, right, to make the right decision, not to then put you in a state where you then become anxious and you're like, oh my gosh, Dr. Brown says I have to sleep, and so I can't sleep at night. Now I can't sleep. I'm going to have hypertension or something of that. Nothing of that nature. Sleep has its incredible benefits. The goal is to empower you, to help you to make better decisions, to prioritize sleep. And if you do notice that you're not able to sleep, if you do notice that you seem to be trying very hard to sleep, then something may be going on, and that would be time to seek help. And so I hope this has been informative enough, and I would love it for you to make one decision. And that decision is that I will prioritize my sleep. I will prioritize my sleep because it is vital to my mental health. It is vital to my physical health. It is vital to my safety and public safety. And it is vital to my overall quality of life. So if this has been helpful, I would love it if you click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share this with people in your community as well. And until next time, I hope you rest well.